with the Priestess, try that again, the Priestess of Light Oracle. Again, this is by Taylor and Kimberly Weber. I felt drawn to do this. It feels as though, okay, so when I was sleeping last night, I woke up in the middle of the night, and it felt like I was in the middle of a tarot reading, and when I woke up, the 0, the Fool card, was what I was talking about, and I was actually speaking in the middle, and then I was awake, and don't know if there was like a noise or something that interrupted my sleep and woke me up, and the Fool card energy has been with me all day. New beginnings, leap of faith, okay? So I feel like there is something that might be on your mind that you are sitting there just trying to figure out. So 3-card pull, past energy, present energy, future energy. I do plan on being on later to do a full spread again with the Oracle and with the Heaven and Earth Tarot. So if you feel called to step on then, that will be available that'll be this evening, probably around like 7 Central Time in America. I do think that I am going to use the book today, but for the affirmations only. And yeah, so let's find out. 3 cards, past energy, present energy, future energy. There's a drop of water on my desk. I'll make sure I don't put the cards in there. What is the message for the collective today? What is it that they need to know? All right, past energy is number 36, duality. It's in the reverse. Current energy, a 30, setting boundaries. And the future energy is the Divine Mother, nurturing, compassion, and grace, in number 37. Okay, so okay, so hello. All right. Oh, okay. So the very first thing that we have down here is the duality. Again, this is 36. It is in the reverse. And in the reverse, when we're talking about Oracle, this particularly says, my name is Angelina. This is particularly important, okay? So we are here to master duality. Duality is black versus white, good versus evil, right versus wrong, okay? As I talk about a lot, there is a reason, there is an absolute reason that everything happens. It's not necessarily good or bad things that happen to us. These are lessons, karma, if you will. It is how we grow. So mastering duality and being able to see what you go through is not necessarily good or bad, but something in a way for you to grow. This is a past energy. This is something you are starting to recognize, something that you are starting to realize. And with the fact that it was in the reverse, again, this is important. So I am drawn to the colors on this. So there is blue around this candle. She's wearing a red dress. And this ivy here is not, it's a very interesting green. It doesn't look like a natural ivy green. It's kind of like a tealish, bluish green. And I'm also drawn to this skull in her lap. Overcoming death. This fear that this is the only existence, this is the only life, that this is all that you have, that is the egoic mind, okay? I say this a lot, that the egoic mind thinks in death and that the spirit thinks in eternity, so finite, infinite. And when we learn to overcome the egoic mind, we have that egoic death. The realization that fear is a catalyst. It is not necessarily something that has to overwhelm us. We have fear naturally. It is for us to understand if our environment is A, safe, B, unsafe. Do I need to escape in order to survive? But it is only a catalyst. It is the hammer hitting the bullet to create action out of you. Okay? So I'm going to read the affirmation for you to be able to state, yes, this is what I want. Okay, so affirmation. I am willing to explore the many wonderful sides of my nature. I am open to understanding the depth of my truth and expressing that to others. This is super duper amazing that this is a past energy and that you are getting into this next energy, which is setting boundaries. This is extremely, extremely important. And look at it. She is protected. She has the big cat behind her, guarding her, okay? This is something that you are doing right now in your life. You are learning how to set those boundaries. I know that when you first start setting boundaries, it can feel like we are hurting other people. But in reality, we are honoring and loving ourselves. Because it's not okay to sit there and just allow people to walk all over you and do whatever they want to you. That's not loving yourself. So getting over that fear and setting those boundaries, this is wonderful. So let's go ahead and look at the affirmation, because I really want to get into this 37, the Divine Mother. There's just like yesterday, there's a lot of threes in here. Okay, so we have 3, 6, and 3, 7. 3, 9, and 1. So you are supported, you are ending a cycle, you are starting anew. Like I said earlier, the 0 card, the new beginnings, the Fool, innocence, all of that stuff is the energy of the day. Okay, so the affirmation is, I choose to make myself my own priority. So important. I have the power to set boundaries and honor myself always. You are sovereign. You have the right to free will. If you set boundaries with people in your life and they push against those boundaries, I have a 3-strike rule. If I tell you a boundary, that is put down, laid down, that is law. You go against that boundary the first time, I will remind you of that boundary, because there's a possibility that you have forgotten. The second time, this is the second warning, the second setting of the boundary, and at this point I say this is it. I refuse to back down. The third time, I don't even warn, I walk away. 3 times is a pattern. This is someone pushing against your boundaries 3 times. That means they are not going to respect those boundaries. Okay? Now, let's get into this future energy, the Divine Mother. This is extremely important, because the Divine Mother has been pushed out of a lot of things. When you think of a mother, the mother is the one that gives the life, that births the creation. It is a common thread for people to, for example, in religions, they always speak about God as the Father. It is not necessarily just the Father. There has to be a Divine Mother in order to birth the creation. Some people refer to the Divine Mother as Source. Some people refer to her as the Divine Feminine. Some people refer to her as the Divine Mother. This is important, because this is where creation comes from. Not just life, but your creations. If you are an artist in any way, you are pulling from the Divine Feminine energy. You are receiving from the Divine Feminine energy, because the Divine Feminine is creation. Okay? And this card says nurturing, compassion, and grace. So it takes a lot of strength to have compassion. And it takes a lot of courage to have compassion. And these are things that we draw typically from our more masculine side to have that strength, to have that courage. But it's really, truly rooted in your nurturing, okay? We are called to love and to forgive. Compassion is a part of that forgiveness. If we do not understand necessarily where someone else is coming from, put yourself in their shoes for a moment. And I speak about this a lot in my own life. I share this with my children. Life is about your journey. And I see our journey on this planet as a pyramid. Our goal is to reach the pinnacle of that pyramid. Every single obstacle, choice, decision, whatever you want to say, is a choice to either step up or slide down, okay? Every single person is on this pyramid. We don't have to be on the same step. We don't even have to be on the same side of the pyramid because perspective matters, right? If we feel as though we have overcome something, that does not make us better. It just makes us on a different part of the journey. And if someone comes at you and treats you in a way that you have decided to overcome, taking that choice to step up, put yourself in their shoes. Remember what it is like to be living in pain, in fear, in doubt. This will allow you to remember that, yes, I was there at one point. Just because I have learned to overcome that does not necessarily mean that that other person has. I can look at them not with pity, but with compassion. Because you understand the pain that, because hurt people, right? You can understand the pain that they are going through and therefore have compassion. So let's see what the affirmation is for the Divine Mother. I choose to increase the tender feelings in my life. As I bring loving care to myself, I expand the energy of love in the world. I absolutely love that affirmation because I have been speaking recently about loving oneself so that you can in turn from the overflow. In America, we always say, you can't pour from an empty cup. I believe that you shouldn't even pour from the vessel at all. I believe that until that vessel is overflowing, there is absolutely no reason to give. And I know that some might call that selfish, but it is not. We receive in order to give. We do not give in order to receive. That is the pure lesson of this. The Divine Mother, also the Divine Feminine, is a receiving energy that also gives. But we cannot give if we are not open to receiving. Okay? So just to recap, you have gone through your ego death and you are starting to overcome this duality of life. You are setting your boundaries and increasing the tenderness in your life in the near future. Okay? I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will be back on later to do a full tarot spread. Have a great one.